Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here with my next The Rise of Kyoshi chapter analysis video. This one's going to be for chapter 11 of the book, which is called The Inheritance. And the best way to describe this chapter is it is the aftermath of the previous chapter. So, we find out that Kelsang has survived the Avatar State attack from Kyoshi. Kyoshi finally kind of comes down from the power and escapes on Peng Peng. Of course, Kelsang's bison, who is still there, which basically means she's free from Jianzhu for now. She goes back to Yokoya to basically get everything that she needs to leave. She hasn't really planned what exactly she's going to do yet, but she knows she's leaving. She's basically kind of said to herself, Yokoya is just a place now. It's not home anymore. I'm just taking what I need to and going. Along the way, you know, she grabs what she needs. She grabs her trunk, the journal, the clay turtle, the kind of armored gear she was given heading out to the iceberg. Basically, the main possessions that she owns is what she takes with her. We see her also crack open the trunk finally. So she threw away the key, so she has to break it open, and when she does, she finds out what's inside it. There are 2 war fans. There is a headdress, which also has a kind of fan kind of motif to it, and then there's also a bag of makeup in there. And that's what's inside it. It is Kyoshi's gear, basically. We get the headdress, the fans, and also the makeup. So that stuff is what's inside of it. And obviously Kyoshi, I think, has a sense of, you know, what this stuff is, but she's not revealing it just yet. But she takes it out, so obviously she can carry those items around without having to carry the giant trunk around. And she puts them in and is about to leave. And this is when, like, Rangi is there. She has to tell Rangi everything that happened. Obviously, it's hard for Rangi to take all of it in. But once Kyoshi's got all of her stuff, when she comes back to Peng Peng, Rangi is there ready to go with her. And the 2 of them are about to head off wherever they need to go. They need to leave Yokoya to get away from whatever Jianzhu is about to do. And that's what this chapter is. I think the main thing is revealing what's in the trunk, but there's also just some nice stuff. You also have, I forgot to mention, just her kind of Kyoshi reflecting on her past of like this moment when Kelsang sort of returned and kind of really, I suppose, committed even more than he was before to really raising her after he left her with people who didn't actually look after her, and he came back in, and it's just this happy moment of her remembering what happened because he's gone now. So let's get into the specifics. So yeah, it starts off with a flashback to a sequence when Kyoshi's around 10 and she's kind of sick, twisted by fever. She misses this fireworks vendor who puts on a show in Yokoya Village, and she is unable to attend it because she's so ill. Then we see her wake up after using the Avatar State, and the idea here is that she looks around and the landscape that she last remembers has been completely morphed and twisted, clearly by whatever she's done in the Avatar State. She's next to a cliffside and it's got earthbending scars all over it and so on. And she's blaming herself because also what she's done in the middle of this is that, you know, Kelsang's body is nowhere to be found. So in the middle of everything, clearly his body has just got kind of completely lost in all of this, and that's what is said here. And she couldn't see Kelsang anywhere. She'd wiped away his existence, and she's just kind of blaming herself, you know, for, you know, the last couple of, I suppose, moments with Kelsang not being on the best of terms in a way, just because of everything that was happening and her not wanting to be the Avatar, but now she is the Avatar. But in reality, it's all about Jianzhu, and it is revealed that he has survived, that, like, she senses him, you know, burying his way out of the earth, and that how he's hidden from the Avatar State is that he's used earthbending to burrow himself really, really deep into the ground to stay away from whatever Kyoshi was doing. That's how he survived this, and he's obviously nearby, and Kyoshi has to escape, and that's how she gets away, by taking Peng Peng, who obviously they got here on, but she takes Peng Peng away, and that sort of strands Jianzhu on this mountainside for now. So that's it, and she has to obviously reveal to Peng Peng, he's gone and he's not coming back, we have to leave now. Peng Peng does actually accept her, which sort of makes sense in that obviously Kyoshi's actually been on Peng Peng a good amount, but she's heading back to Yokoya at this point in time, and here's where we get the moment of Yokoya. Kyoshi corrected herself, not home, never again home. So that's she says, in the direction of home, but yeah, she's not considering it home anymore because she knows that she has to leave because Jianzu is going to come back there. It can't be her home anymore, and now that a lot of so many of the people that are important to her are gone, Yoon and Kelsang, there's not as much connecting her to that place anymore either. Then we go back to the flashback, and basically Kelsang returns to the village after this, and obviously he had given this family money to look after her, but they clearly used it on other stuff and didn't actually look after Kyoshi. So when he came back, he swore. Kelsang promised Kyoshi that he'd never leave her for so long again, and we get this moment of a flying kite craze had taken over the village, and Kyoshi didn't have one, so Kelsang gave her the best kite of all, and that is he ties a rope to himself and starts gliding around as Kyoshi's holding onto the end of it. So Kelsang becomes Kyoshi's kite, and it's the kind of one of the happiest moments from Kyoshi's childhood, is having the biggest, fastest, best kite in the whole world. So yeah, that's when Kyoshi gets back, and she is immediately greeted by Rangi. This is where Kyoshi is forced to really quickly reveal everything that happened to her about Yoon is dead, Kelsang is dead, Jianzu's betrayed them all. And Rangi obviously struggles to accept this, there's got to be a misunderstanding and explanation. You said there was a spirit, it must have played tricks on your mind. That's been known to happen. Or maybe you simply got confused. Master Jianzu can't have, he wouldn't. And we know how sort of devoted and how much Rangi links onto things and struggles with these kind of changes. So it makes sense why she is struggling to sort of comprehend this, but has to accept that just because of the way Kyoshi is, that there is truth to this, because otherwise Kyoshi wouldn't be acting this way. That's how kind of close they are. And Rangi's just like, we've got to get to the bottom of this. And Kyoshi just snaps and says, Rangi, they're dead, I have to go. And she goes back to head to her room to get her stuff. And this is where it is revealed she does grab the clay turtle, the Avatar relic, of course. She grabs the beautiful green battle outfit that she'd worn on the iceberg, and then the trunk and the journal that reveals what's inside. So obviously we'll get what they are. She runs outside, grabs, what is it called, the splitting, what's the specific name of this thing? The splitting maul, and she starts to hammer away at the trunk to crack it open. And this is when it's revealed inside. Inside were two ornate metal war fans, the color of gold, alloyed with bronze. The weapons were packed in a softer wood frame that held them open while protecting them from rough treatment, like the sort she just doled out. A headdress made of the same material rested in between them. It complemented the fans by mounting smaller versions of them on a band, forming a semicircular crest at the forehead. Lastly, there was a plain leather pouch with a case that she knew contained makeup, a lot of makeup. She snatched each item from its moorings. The headdress and the fans were much sturdier than they appeared. They were meant to be worn and wielded in combat, after all. They and the pouch went inside her bag. The trunk no longer served a purpose, and it would be left in the mud. So this is when it's obviously she finishes up. She gets back to Peng Peng, is about to leave, and she finds Rangi actually preparing more of these sort of survival supplies. Kyoshi's got the items that are important to her, but Rangi's like, let me guess, you didn't pack any food, did you? And she's like, we'll have to fly low and head southwest out of the storm. And Kyoshi's kind of like, why are you going with me? Like, Rangi doesn't have to go with her, but is asking why. And Rangi's like, I have no idea what's going on right now, but I'm not going to let you ride off on your own and die in the storm. You won't last an hour without help. So, Kyoshi has such gratitude for Rangi coming along with her, and that's the setup. Rangi takes control of Peng Peng, and they head off together. Who knows where? We'll find out coming up next, but that is the setup. And, you know, the one thing I've sort of left out here is, like, the atmosphere of all of this. It's raining back in Yokoya. There's this thunder and lightning while all of this is happening. So you can just imagine the scene of, like, Kyoshi rushes home, lands on the Sky Bison, has to quickly inform Rangi about, like, the death of Yoon, the death of Kelsang, Jianzhu betraying everyone, rushes past her after laying this on her, into her room, quickly packs her bags, rushes outside again, rain, thunder, lightning, and she has to take up all of the items that she has hated so much because they're a reminder of her parents, and take them because she knows, I suppose, to a degree, she's going to need to use them. She says as much in the chapter that suddenly there's someone higher up on her list of things that she hates than her parents, and that's Jianzhu. And she's even willing to open up these items and open up her past to find some way to, you know, counter him. And so there's just a great sense of atmosphere as, like, in the thunder and lightning, it's just her in the middle of the city, basically just hammering away on this trunk to open it up. And for us, like, as the audience, like, finally Kyoshi, with the tools we associate her with, these items that make up her look, like is on the cover, she finally has them. She's had them all along, and that's why she sort of knows that they're for combat and stuff like that. So it's her accepting an element of her past, but we'll see the full details of that be revealed as time goes on. But yeah, and then Rangi obviously being loyal to her, getting across the idea that, you know, that's how close they are, that Rangi is going to go with Kyoshi, if not just to find out, you know, full details of what happened. You know, everything's calmed down, just, okay, you told me what happened, but okay, that this is actually the case of what's happened. Where to next? Like, she is going to support Kyoshi over Jianzhu. So I like the loyalty from Rangi here, and we'll see, you know, how the dynamic between the two of them kind of progresses. But you know, really good stuff, especially the couple of reflections on Kelsang of, like, yeah, like, their last moments together weren't the happiest, but it's her remembering some of the happiest moments, and that he's gone, but she still has his bison, and that's like an aspect to it. And, you know, in a way, can you say, like, is Peng Peng Kyoshi's avatar guide? I'm not sure, because, like, if Peng Peng is, like, if Kelsang got Peng Peng in the same way that, like, most airbenders get their bison, of basically, you know, they sort of found each other when they were both roughly around the same age. You know, that would make Peng Peng in or around 50. Kyoshi is going to completely outlive Peng Peng, unless we find out somehow that Sky Bisons live a super long time as well. There is room in Kyoshi's life for her to potentially find another sort of spirit guide, animal guide. But for now, Kyoshi does have this Sky Bison, and as we'll find out, Sky Bisons are sort of connected to her past, and it makes sense why, in a way, an air nomad animal is also the animal for Kyoshi as well. But yeah, there's something fitting about that, you know, Kyoshi sort of takes over ownership of Peng Peng, and she at least has something that belongs to Kelsang left with her. So yeah, that's the chapter. Lots of emotion. Again, I think the atmosphere is actually very good here. The way they set up the weather and stuff like that. I suppose to get really kind of like technical and sort of Englishy, you know, what is it, the pathetic fallacy or something like that, the weather reflecting the mood of what's going on. That's definitely a play here. But yeah, that's my thoughts on chapter 11 of the book. In the comments, let me know what your thoughts were. But that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.